Hey, crypto heads, it's the Goose with the Cryptic Paranormal Show. Welcome back for another amazing episode of the Cryptic Paranormal Show. Um, right
It's
over
been
there,
a
we
shit
got,
show for everybody for today,
yeah,
but
yeah, no shit. So right over there, we got D Nice. What's happening, D Nice?
I don't know why my lighting is just like bright and then dark and whatever. It's just par for the course today, but I'm doing good. I'm
Haunted.
doing good. I'm hanging
It's,
in there.
it's haunted. Good.
Yeah.
Good. And down there, we got, oh, wait, I'm pointing in the wrong direction. There it is. Not that you can see it on the podcast, but you can see it on the live stream. What's up,
Oh,
Heisenberg?
they can see me on the podcast.
No shit. You're magical.
Just
That's
am.
awesome.
That's why my fan club rate has gone up to $2,000. I've had to raise the rate due to the popularity of the club.
Yeah.
So
it must be about your pronunciation because you said popularity.
yes,
It's got to be about. They just want to hear you talk. They want like
right.
You should sell books like audio
Oh my
books.
gosh, or GPS.
Yes.
Can you imagine if Heisenberg told you how to drive somewhere?
I don't know. I don't know.
Turn.
Yeah. What are you doing?
All work out.
Yeah, we'll get there somehow.
Where am I supposed to go?
Yeah.
Yep.
You'll be like, oh shit, you were supposed to turn back there.
That's what it is. Kate always sees when we're like going down the road, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, why did you say something?
Yeah, that's happened to me too. And Kim, we were driving to we were going to the Cavs game, and I was getting off the turnpike on 77, and I just get off on 77 South, like I know what I'm doing. She's like, I think you like a couple miles down. She's like, I think you should have probably went north. I'm like, thanks. So I got to go about 10 miles out of my way to turn around and go back. But I don't know.
Okay, at least it's very easy to do in Ohio, unlike the Pennsylvania Turnpike, which traps you and makes you pay exorbitant amounts of money to travel their shitty ass roads.
Yeah, and they do that. They do that like tolls by mail now.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was New York, one of the places I just went. And there's like that big scam going around where they will send a text message or an email saying, hey, you owe tolls. And I'm like,
I get that.
I don't know what to do because I do owe tolls and I don't know how it works. So it very well could have been a real one. But
they're not going to send you a text message.
No, they sent it in the mail. And my husband paid it. And I didn't.
We got like the Easy Pass, so I use that. And
yeah,
I got the mistake was they sent it to me, and I was like, it's not even in my name.
Yeah, I love the Easy Pass. I love.
They don't trust me with anything like that.
Yeah.
But I'm only on the turnpike like twice a week just to get to work and then home from work on Friday. But it takes about 10-15 minutes off my drive time, so it makes more sense.
Crazy, man. They got those orange Pharaohs up. They're crazy.
Dude, I was already pissed off before I got home, before my kitchen almost caught on fire. But just the amount of construction is ridiculous out there.
The orange barrels, they're the spring flower of Ohio.
Bleh, hate it. Why is this down to one lane? Oh yeah, there's absolutely nothing going on yet, but they got it all blocked off like there is something going on.
I was thinking about that today, actually, and I have a theory. That's the road they use to travel to different spots. When there's like nothing over there, I'm guessing they probably just use that as the
That's the VIP lane.
It's insane. It's making my job hard. I don't like it. But hey, it's spring. It was a beautiful day today.
Yeah, gorgeous.
80 degrees and sunny. So that was good. I tried to find the positive for like 2 seconds until I hit traffic again.
Tell us about your kitchen. What happened?
Well, I don't really want to hear about if it really did catch on fire. I'm getting tired of this little almost caught on fire.
No, something like in the electrical panel on the oven caught on fire and was like in flames, and like our house was filled with smoke, and our neighbors were running to make sure we were okay. Like, we got it out. Just had to unplug it and like just
let it
wait till there's smoke alarm.
What's that? Yeah, I did. Our upstairs. Yeah. Yep. So that was going off, but yeah, no, I mean, the house is fine, thank God. I mean, it didn't go that bad. But
it was a test. It was a test of the alarms. They worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, I mean, I do that every month. I just set something in the house on fire to make sure they work.
That's a good way to do it. You know, you don't want them to get all like lackadaisical.
Well, it also, right. And also I can get the family, you know, going with the fire drill every month. So, you know, oh, it's in the bathroom tonight. So everybody figure out where you have to go from here.
But it doesn't work unless you really said it, because you know the kids just don't believe it these days.
Yeah,
right. You got to do it for real.
It's what like I do is that cried wolf.
What I do is I actually set it on fire, and then I go live on TikTok because I know that way they will see it.
Oh yeah, that's true. Good call. Actually, they probably have you blocked on TikTok. Let's be real.
Probably, I'm sure they do.
I love when you see celebrities like super famous, like rock stars or movie stars or whatever, and their kids even are like, "Oh my god, you're so uncool." You know what I mean? It makes me feel better.
Yeah, they don't want nothing to do with that shit, man. But they want the likes if their parents are very good with like all that social media stuff, but they don't want the
yeah.
I want your
But they still like they're, you know, the dad.
Oh, they're all embarrassed. Everybody's embarrassed of their kids.
Yeah, they still roll their eyes and, oh my god, Dad, you're such a loser. Like, what? Your dad is a famous rock star.
I didn't even know there was a test button, Chester.
Test button. What?
Chester said, "Would it not be easier to just push the test button?" I'll think of that next time. I'll try not to set my house on fire. Just exciting though. It's just the excitement of it all, and
if you push the test button, everybody's gonna know it's a drill, man. You gotta set the thing on for real, like you have been doing.
I got to get my family up and moving somehow. I mean,
so now you got to buy a new stove, huh?
Yeah. I got to buy my wife's like, the oven still works. I'm like, no.
Yeah, no.
One piece catches on fire, the rest is toast. I mean, we'll figure it out. But I mean, we have an air fryer. We have other things to use.
It's grilling season anyways.
Right. The Blackstone is sitting out there waiting to get seasoned.
Yep.
We'll get it figured out, but you know, that's not paranormal.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it is because it doesn't happen every day. So it's
that's
not
true.
Really
it's not normal.
Not out. So, Eddie, guys got any paranormal news? How's Madison going? I was there last week. It was pretty sweet. I had a good time.
Yeah.
Is there anything going on this weekend?
Actually, that's a super good question. I feel like there is. Addie always puts a poll in our group chat and says like who's coming, and I think there was one for this weekend.
I think I saw something about flashlights Saturday, maybe. Maybe,
yeah. I just did a private hunt last night. It was just 2 people. I'm always like amazed when it's only 2 people. Like, you guys are so brave.
Mm-hmm. That's like, I mean, that would be excellent, but I would feel bad not inviting a bunch of other people.
Yeah.
Like, at least our team, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like show up, you know. But
I don't know if they were like a husband and wife or what, but they showed up in their Cybertruck and they did a tour, and I was like, what do you want? You know, do you guys just want a quick tour? Like just the history, just paranormal hotspots? What are you thinking? And she was like, no, we want a super long tour. And I was like, perfect. I'm your girl.
Nice. Yeah. Let me just get my bag of equipment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Let me get my bag of equipment. Okay. So 26th Saturday, Madison Seminary.
Yeah.
7 to noon or noon. 7 to midnight.
7 to noon.
7 to noon. That's a long ass fucking day.
Oh gosh. But yeah, it was super nice. I love talking about that building. So it was nice for and when it's just 2 people, it's like super interactive. You know, like I did something and then they'd ask me a question, and you know, we'd talk about something for 20 minutes. It was really nice.
Awesome. I wish I lived closer so I could do more up there. What's wrong? What was that?
It's my air conditioning.
Oh, sounds like something exploded.
No, that was somebody dropped something up top. Who knows what? Where did he go?
I'm getting her back on now. There she is.
Here I am.
It was just weird. It was so weird because you said, "Oh no," and then I heard something like bang. I guess it was coming from Heisenberg's.
I didn't know you heard me say, "Oh no."
Yeah. Well, you froze up, and I didn't hear the end of your sentence, and but then all I hear is "oh no," then bang, and you disappeared. I'm like, "Oh shit." Oh, you
it
saw it
really
here
is a
live,
curse
folks.
day.
You saw it here live, folks.
Yeah.
Well, all 6 of you, anyways.
Yeah, it's
Get the word out. What are
but
you
it's
looking
good.
for a new?
It's starting to be warm at the building. So that's nice.
Yeah. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't
That's
warm,
what
but it
that's when
wasn't
I'm most likely to show up.
Yeah.
right.
Most
Yeah, it
people
wasn't.
are.
Wasn't super warm last Saturday, but it wasn't the worst I've been in. I mean, there was no
Yeah.
ice on the walls, so that's a good
Right.
start.
Oh my god.
But yeah, cool. I think we got a ghost hunt set up for June 14th. I don't know if you saw the text today, Mike, but we're gonna do I got the Shalersville booked. So
Yeah,
D,
let
if
Gabs
you're
know.
okay, cool. So D, if you're in, we're gonna go June 14th, Saturday. If you're
Taylorsville?
not busy, yeah.
Cool.
Shalersville Historical Society, and I asked Ron. Hopefully, we can get into the schoolhouse if it's like kosher inside.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so it's a new
They just
building.
moved that there last year? 2 years ago?
It's been like with like the last 2 years because like he did what he does with other places. He like dismantled it completely and then rebuilt it on
That's
site.
so crazy.
Yeah, and he's done it. He did it with a barn at his house. I mean,
It takes
he's
patience,
crazy.
man.
When he does it,
Oh
does he
yeah.
like do a period specific? Like when he rebuilds it, does he use like square nails? Or does he like
That
just
I don't
go with
know.
screws?
That I don't know. I don't think he does
Yeah, I was
that
trying to remember
specific.
when like being in the cellar what kind of nails and stuff were in there, but I can't remember
Yeah.
if they were regular or not.
I don't think I looked that closely. I know he tries to repurpose or reuse all the wood that came from it. So,
Well, and
Yeah,
the
but as far
locks
as like,
too.
yeah,
that's cool.
yeah, the locks because I can never figure them out because
Yeah,
they're
because
the
we can
old
never
type,
get them open.
right? It's like the old style key. You know, I just like how the fuck are they?
I just
I
showed a
can't figure
house
them
that
out.
was like that. Like that's how you got into the house was like a skeleton key. I opened the
No
lockbox and there was
kidding.
a skeleton key in it, and I was like, "What?"
What?
Did you figure it out? You
Yeah,
were
it took
good.
me a minute though.
Yeah, you got to get like perfectly lined up, and I don't have the patience.
Yeah,
And I think the locks they used were the original, obviously, and they were kind of worn out, so they weren't like lining up real great. And I didn't know if you were supposed to poke it all the way through and turn it. Like I couldn't figure out where you had to latch it to get it. I'm like, come on, I just need a code like to push in so I can open the door.
right. Amen.
Oh hey, it's Chris Rowan from our buddies over at Ompers, the Ohio Metaphysical Paranormal Research Society. I think I said that right.
Yes.
He said that place was interesting. Yeah, yeah. I remember you guys being
Finish
there
reading
with
it.
me. The place was interesting. I was with you, Goose, and part of the old team I was on back in like 2017. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was Ectovision. I think you guys were still Ectovision, maybe.
Back then,
Let me
yeah.
know if I'm. Yeah. So, yeah, that was fun night.
Cool. It's a cool place just because it's like exciting but not scary.
Right, and I feel like it's like close
You said
enough.
close enough.
um, yeah, and that's the kind of place I really like enjoy these days. Like
Yeah.
just a house that a family was built in and the community was built around, and
Yeah.
those kinds of nice stories. And obviously, if they're ghosts, obviously most of the time something happened and they're dead, and something had traumatic happen, or they just passed away. But that the whole consciousness we were talking about with our guests, it just, I mean, makes you think. But it's cool. It's very relaxed. It gets chaotic if you're a little empathic because of all the things that are there
Yeah.
from all over the place.
Yeah.
We've had
Like the
several.
stuff you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
stuff. Because they're just getting messages from everything or just energies off of everything that's in there,
Right.
and that's not specific to that house. And I know when I had Tina there, she was picking up a little girl that wasn't like originally from the house, but
Okay.
that somehow found herself there. Like she couldn't figure out if it was someone that was like connected to the house or something connected to one of the items that somebody donated to the house.
Is that we
But
heard I don't know if it was a little girl. It was that girl's voice up in the doll room that
Uh-huh.
we got
yeah,
on
but
that DVD.
yeah, Yeah, we got that. That was actually a
you,
direct
me, and
response.
Kendall were up there. That was that one.
Yeah, because I had to go up there because of your EVP.
Right, yeah. But when we got that, I think I had just asked like directly for a specific one of the Poots girls that live there, and I was just like going through their names, and
no,
that's
that
when
was
we
the
got.
one in the room. I think we were just setting up.
Oh, okay.
You were checking your recorder.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
you're right. Yeah, that place is just. I mean, it's very unassuming. It's hard to like investigate with a bunch of people in there, but
yeah,
just small group is fine. And so we got some of the best stuff when like we just let our recorders go and then we walk outside.
Yeah, I think the land's more haunted than the house.
probably.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's still a lot of residual from the family.
No, I'm not saying that the house is not.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
I think the land around there has got some crazy stuff going on.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. But and just like I said, people so much donated there. I mean, donated items from everything, and like the soldiers' uniforms and women's dresses, and
Yep.
That gentleman, I can't remember his name, of course. The guy that used to hang out there, that was like the dowser guy that knew how to like find water with a dowsing rod.
George.
Yeah, George. Sure, that's right. That's what it is. I forgot. Oh, you remembered. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I thought you were being sarcastic. I didn't think it was me.
What's that?
You're like, yeah,
was
sure,
it?
George.
I'm pretty sure it was George.
Okay,
he's right. Yeah, it's a cool place. I'm excited to go back. But
the week before that, I'm going to the Grand Midway.
Ooh.
Amber Wellman.
Nice. Oh yeah. Okay, that's kind of a newer place on the scene, or at least I've just started hearing about it within like the last year.
Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know anything about it, and I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's exciting to go to a brand new place you know nothing about.
Yeah. Usually.
Which is
yeah.
Right.
Sometimes you go to a place and you're like, what am I doing? How is this my life? What am I doing here right now?
Right. Yeah. Especially some of the bigger, like more like famous places, like Shawshank Redemption was filmed here, or whatever. It's really cool stuff. I love it. But I do prefer my old age. I do prefer the little houses, the historical homes, and
yeah.
Madison's
on the other end of the spectrum, though, too. There's times where you're like, surrounded by black mold, or
like, yeah.
What am I doing?
And you go home, and the next day you're just sick as hell.
I don't know why I keep coughing.
Right.
It's not a paranormal hangover, it's allergies.
Right.
Yeah, right.
It's called mold poisoning.
All right. Well, the new segment. Are you guys ready for
I'm ready.
The new segment? I got a story for you. It's kind of a rehash story from when Heisenberg and I first started. We had Thomas Wertman. Hey, Holly. From the Ohio. He was the Ohio director of the Ohio MUFON group, which is the Mutual UFO Network. He told us a little bit about this story. Heisenberg might remember it, but I got more details. I went down a rabbit hole, and I actually I'm going to bring up for myself so I could kind of read it and like make sense with it. But there's a huge UFO chase in 1966 that started in Ravenna in Portage County, like where I grew up.
Okay.
The chief of the Portage County, the Portage County sheriff, who lived in Manaway, which is where I grew up, was part of this. They chased it for basically 86 miles all the way to the Pennsylvania border, which at that point they ran out of gas. But let me get into the details real quick.
Okay. And
this is from the Times, which is a local paper from where the chase actually ended. So at 5 a.m. April 17th, 1966, 2 Portage County, Ohio sheriff deputies stopped to investigate an abandoned vehicle along a road near Ravenna. Now, another story I read said this car was really peculiar. It had some really strange logos on it. Like it had like a big circle with a bolt through it on the side, and inside was just stacked really high a bunch of like radio equipment. So that was odd, for them to see to begin with. So while they're investigating it, Deputy Del Spar gets out of his car. They go to investigate. He's with his partner, Wilbur Barney Neff, who stayed in the car. All of a sudden, they started hearing this like strange metallic humming noise. So Spar turns around and sees a gigantic UFO in the sky. He said it came right above the tree line. So it rises above the tree and it just gets covered with a light. At that point, his partner was actually looking at the car. He wasn't even paying attention to what was going on behind him. So Spar like, hey Neff, turn around, dude. You got to check this out. Basically, and he turned around and they were both in awe. They said the first thing they did was turned around and got in the car and just sat there before they could even like call their dispatch.
Yeah.
So they called their dispatch to the main dispatch in Ravenna. The sheriff there tells them to start shooting at it and chasing it. Like they're like, okay, so they're like, they got off the radio with him. They're like, no, I don't think we're gonna start. We'll follow it, but we're not gonna start shooting at it with our pistols. I mean, come on. So they called Chief Booker in Manaway, who was out on patrol in Manaway at the time. When they radioed him, he's like, do not shoot at this. Go ahead and engage it, slowly follow it, keep me updated. He ran back to his home, grabbed his camera. His wife was like scared out of her mind. She did not want him to go, but he went anyways. But when she went outside with him, following him out to try to keep him home, she saw the UFO, and it was high enough they could see it from Manaway. Apparently, he took pictures of it. Now, I scoured the internet trying to find they had posted it in the Plain Dealer before Project Blue Book got to him and told him to stop. They had already posted it. But I cannot find the goddamn thing anywhere. I scoured the internet trying to see what it was. They're saying it was a pretty good shot. It was blurry, but for a camera in 1966,
at night,
it was
right.
It was at night. It was a pretty interesting thing to see. So they started chasing this UFO. They described it as a saucers, your typical UFO, like two saucers up and down, like connected in the middle. They saw a dome at the top, super light, and it was playing cat and mouse with them for most of this drive. So it would speed up. They said it probably got to about an altitude about 500 feet high. When it was close, they estimated it to be 50 feet long by about 30 feet high.
Oh
so that's pretty big. I mean, 50 feet in diameter. They said it was almost the size of a football field from what it looked like at its closest point.
Wow.
So, I mean, how do you mistake that for something else?
Right.
I mean, these are sheriffs. I believe these kinds of stories from guys who are like supposed to be very objective about things.
Right.
So they continued to chase this thing. Harry Booker started getting calls. They said they had over 100 reports of local Ohioans reporting what they had seen in the sky. He literally went on record as saying it was like 3 days of hell, and he lost about 20 pounds because it was like nonstop phone calls. Because he was the sheriff, and all the calls went directly to his home, so he couldn't escape it. So he's doing all that, trying to run PR while his guys are chasing this thing. Around East Palestine, another sheriff joined the chase, and they had made it, and they chased this thing. It was playing cat and mouse, so it'd like catch up with them. It would slow down. As soon as they would get close, it would shoot off again.
Oh my god!
And like right around like where the interchange is, before they hit they're almost out of gas at this point, and they're about to hit the border. All the sheriffs at this point, there's like 5 or 6 cars by the time they got that close. There's like the interchange, so they got lost in these bridges. Like they're all on a different road trying to get to this thing. And they said it stopped and hovered and waited for them to like get it together and get on the side before it shot off again. So Spar and
right.
So Spar and Neff, they got all the way to the Pennsylvania border, where they basically they went in on fumes. They had no gas left, but they were able to make it to a service station where there was another cop waiting there saying, I know what you guys are doing. You've got to hear this. And they're listening to the communications over their radio. They're hearing the Air Force sending fighter jets after this thing at this
Oh
point.
my gosh.
So that all went down. So this is crazy stuff. These guys lived this. They told their story. Then they were told that they were insane
Of
by
course.
a major that came out of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, where Project Blue Book was. That's the home, which is right here in Ohio.
Yeah.
That's where Project Blue Book was like headquartered. So they sent a major. And he was like, "Oh," his first question was, "So where exactly did you see this mirage?" So like right away, he's demeaning them, right?
Just gaslighting immediately.
Yeah, just gaslighting completely. And they're like, you know what? The one Neff backed off immediately. He's like, I don't want to deal with this. Like, I know what I saw, and he just went back into his life.
Yeah.
Harry Booker, like I said, after a while, he shared his story with the plain dealer before the Congress was able to block it and get all his evidence that he had completed. And then Spar, he would not give up. He was telling a story all over the place.
Yeah.
He refused to deal with Project Blue Book, who said their final story was it was a low flying satellite.
Okay.
That was flying close to the Earth at that point before it veered off to Venus.
What?
So, but they said there's like all the sheriffs agree that there was no way this thing was a man-made because it was a solid piece of metal. Like it was close enough they could say that it did not look anything man-made. Like they knew what satellites looked like.
And
at
also,
that
if
point
the
in time.
satellite's just floating, it's not going to like wait for them to catch up and then speed off.
Right. So it's a crazy story. Project Blue Book came out of the works and tried to shut it all down. Poor Spar, he ended up just horrible situation. His wife left him. He lost his job. I mean, he was just in shambles, and he died. I think he was only like 58 or something when he passed away.
Wow.
But it was a crazy story, and it just the connection to it to like Portage County where I grew up. It just I was going to do a different story actually, but it was another cryptid story. And I'm like, you know what? Heisenberg just did that last week, so let's change it up a little bit. And then I remember that story Thomas kind of gave us the summary of, so I got into that. But really cool stuff. And if you guys have ever seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind, famous Steven Spielberg movie, there's a chase scene in there where there's cops chasing the UFOs. They actually hit the Ohio border, and you see the Ohio border like turnpike thing go up. That was actually Steven Spielberg got that from the Portage County story.
Oh, that's cool.
So he kind of placed it into his movie, just trying to give like a shout out. Yeah, a little shout out to the actual event. And I guess a lot of what he put in that movie, like 1966 was a hot year apparently because there's a big UFO sightings around Michigan, like Lake Michigan, Upper Peninsula Michigan area, and the East Coast.
It was the time of the hippies and the acid and the and the weed.
You should have worked for Project Blue Book. You would have been perfect for that job. Dr. Heisenberg.
That was last week, Betsy. Yeah. Why do I keep doing this?
Well, if you guys know anything about Project Blue Book, Dr. Hynek, who is like
the guy I don't even know what Project Blue Book is, so
well, that'll be a different story then for a different day. That was
I keep thinking of the Bourne Identity every time you say that. Treadstone and Black. That's all I think about every time you say it. I don't even.
To summarize, like
I don't care what the government. You think the government's trying to hide from us?
Okay, it started in Roswell. The Air Force put it together after Roswell to keep everything under tabs, and they kept it. Dr. Hynek was like their physicist. He was actually from Ohio himself. He was from Ohio. He was a professor at Ohio State, worked at Patterson Air Force Base anyways. But it was all like just government coming in after UFO sightings and recording them, taking down documentation and basically telling everybody that they were full of shit and they didn't see what they saw. So kind of I guess in some areas maybe
that
important.
Sound like a project. That sounds like the 60s.
It's just a cover up of
everything was a cover up.
Yeah. In the meantime, these same people had like their own UFO craft and were already reverse engineering everything and had bodies.
I would believe that now. I wouldn't believe a UFO sighting now because people could do it. I've seen the size of those RV or those remote control planes.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're
Yeah, those.
I don't
After,
believe a UFO.
yeah, the drones. I don't believe. I mean the drones. People, you can sit in one and fly it around. I mean, it's
right.
I don't believe the drones. I mean, if they were put up there, I believe it was probably the government doing it. I don't really go into the psyop thing anymore. I don't really believe Greer anymore because like disclosure was supposed to happen months ago and
Yeah.
it's still nothing. And he still comes out, oh, disclosure is coming soon.
Oh, it's
But
coming
it's just
in 5 to 7 days, and then it
yeah,
doesn't.
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
what
so
cult
he can
leaders
keep.
say.
It's just so he could at this point. I think it's just so he could remain relevant, yes, and make money with these documentaries and doing convention appearances and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I do believe in UFOs, and I do believe these sheriffs in Portage County actually did see something.
for sure.
I do believe that people. I believe regular people that report this stuff more than I do.
But let's put this in there.
Okay.
The armory is there.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. Right there in Ravenna, the arsenal.
That whole down Route 5 or whatever.
Yep. Yeah. No.
It's an actual armory, like weapons.
Oh yeah, the arsenal. Especially in that period of time, they were very active.
They're active still.
It's more like
they still have a National Guard base there.
Yeah, it's the National Guard. Yeah, but I don't think they hold what they used to hold there. I mean,
no.
The last thing I heard. Well, that's another story for a different day because all kinds of Bigfoot sightings around the arsenal. Yeah. But yeah,
they can't go in there.
I know you can't. I used to go in there for a bike-a-thon they used to do, but you're only allowed.
They would just invite the public to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they do actually have now, but not back in the day. They would have, like, if you were a hunter, they would allow certain people, like a specific like amount of people, to come on the property and hunt the area. But a lot of people that live around the area, around the outskirts of the fence, have said there are strange things going on inside.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah,
a lot of Bigfoot sightings, a lot of different kinds of things. So
see, that's why I just don't think you could trust anything that's around an army base.
Yeah,
you don't know what those fuckers are doing, man,
or what they're testing, or what they've developed that we don't know about.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that there's no. I don't discount their story.
Now, if that story had happened more towards the time we're in now, where the actual, we're seeing that more in the military, that kind of thing now, like in public. Back then, though, I don't know, like the 60s, maybe. I mean, it's possible, but I don't know.
But then, a lot of those sightings have radiation burns. That could be military too, or it could be just, you know what I mean?
Oh,
there's so much stuff
Yeah, and there were a couple. There was one project, Blue Book, sighting where they went these.
Oh, sorry.
It was actually military people it happened to. They had radiation burns. They were in a skirmish with whatever was in the sky, and they did find out it was our own military testing new weaponry and lighting and spotlighting and how to.
Yep.
So I mean, that shit happens. Holly says, "I 100." Well, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, they still have the hunts. Awesome. So they still have the hunts at the arsenal. Holly said, "I 100% believe she saw a UFO when she was about 18 or 19." Cool.
So if we want to sneak on the arsenal, we got to act like we're hunters.
Right. And I don't think the security is nearly as heavy as it used to be when they actually had like major equipment in there. I know, like during the original Persian Gulf War, they stored and they trained M1 Abram tanks in that facility, and they were active. But I mean, I see caravans in and out of that place all the time. So
they fly C-130s out of there, I think.
Yeah. So the big cargos. Yeah. So it's still got a lot of National Guards stuff going on, but.
Denise
cool
looks
story.
Very amused by this. She looks very entertained. I love it. She's just like,
I have a ton of thoughts, but they just
about C-130s. They're pretty cool.
No, just I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it was like in the 60s, so it's hard to say. But,
Yeah.
now it's for sure. I mean,
You know
like,
what?
okay,
Go ahead.
here's a perfect example. That little thing that they just did where those girls flew into space, okay?
Yeah.
So they fly down, they land, and somebody opens the door from the inside, okay?
Mhm.
And then the lady runs over and she goes, close it, whatever. You could tell she was like yelling at them. They close the door
Yeah.
immediately. And then
Mhm.
he goes over with his wrench that is the only way to open the door. And then he's like, welcome back to Earth, ladies.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
so people are like, what the hell? They just opened the door. And then everybody's like, no. They didn't open the door. You can only open the door with the wrench. It wasn't
Oh,
open.
yeah.
And you're like,
Bullshit.
what? So, I mean, I feel like the fact that they started out with, when did you first see this mirage? I would have been like, I'm out. I'm not
Yeah.
even going to
I'm
talk to
out.
you. There's no
Right.
point in
Yeah.
talking to you.
Yeah.
You're just
Yeah.
going to change everything I say. You're just going to just
Well,
make it.
I
They
wonder.
really
If
originally stuck to their guns, but
yeah.
then the guy physically came and started like poking around, and that's when at least
Think
Neff
about
backed up.
how much less light pollution was around in the '60s
That's true
to see
too.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Now you don't even. I don't even. I can go out and see a couple stars, but when I go to Madison or I go to Port Clinton, I'm like,
Well, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, most of Portage County is still that way. I know exactly where they were at. They were driving down 224, like through Mogador from Ravenna, like all the way down. So
oh,
I'm sure
they're on
the
their way to Canfield. They're on their way to Canfield then.
yeah. Yeah, they ended up in Conway, Pennsylvania. I know that's
See,
where at least the Portage County guys stopped.
and that's what pisses me off too. So you mean to tell me that a mirage was visible across the entire state? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like when somebody sees a mirage in the desert
Yeah.
and they see a pond or whatever and they think
Mhm.
that there's water, they walk closer to it, it disappears. A
Yeah.
mirage doesn't go like no
Right.
matter which way you're driving on the road,
Yeah.
you can
One thing I
still
never
see it.
understood is why they didn't bring other cop cars from the other way.
Oh, I don't know. Because they were, I mean, they were in hot pursuit, but that
Because
I
makes
mean,
sense.
it was late at night. I'm not saying that
Yeah.
like and it was like
Well,
in the
it's like
'60s.
5
I just
o'clock in the
wondered why they
morning.
didn't try to like set something up.
And
Yeah.
when they got to Pennsylvania, they said the Air Force was doing
Yeah, but
something, right?
Yeah.
you
Well,
would
why
think that
would
the
they?
Air
I
Force.
mean,
But Project Blue Book came out and said there was no such thing, even though the sheriffs heard it on their communication.
Wait,
yeah, see?
is it like actually a Project Blue Book, or is this what people have called it?
No, that's what it is actually officially called by the government. Back then,
Project Blue Book.
it's no longer in existence. Now it's NICAP or
Treadstone?
something like that. Yeah, no, not Treadstone. It's had many different names, but it's basically been the same thing.
Yeah.
Blackbriar?
Now everything has an what'd you say? What'd you say?
Blackbriar?
I don't know. I think it's like NIDS. It's been a bunch of different things.
And I don't think
All
that
a
it
bunch
was
of
like
abbreviations that I don't know what they stand for.
the name of it wasn't a conspiracy theory. It was, them saying, well, we do this. And we're like, no, you do this. You know,
it all started with Roswell. And that information, that story got leaked out before the government could even get involved. But once they got involved, they're telling everybody and trying to get everybody to recant their stories. They went and the guy who actually found the crash was paid to like recant his story.
How
They
much?
collected all the materials that they had found from the crash site. And then they went and back and they told everybody that was a weather balloon or
No, they wouldn't
scientific.
pay that guy off. They would have killed him.
Oh no, they paid
this
him.
was back then.
I'm sure. Yeah,
They just kill people now.
he was a farmer that was like not doing well. He took the money.
See, and I always
you
wonder.
Take the money and still say some shit.
And I'm sure some of them did end up dead. A lot of whistleblowers have ended up dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would have just. I think they would have just offed them.
Yeah, Tim. I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
throw up Timmy's. Not Timmy. Timothy. Sorry, Tim.
Whenever you say blue book, I
Hey,
think
Timmy.
about my college test that I had to write in these blue books.
Oh
like
my gosh, I
the
remember
Yeah.
those bubbles.
Yeah, the blue book. Yeah, I
Yeah.
had a bunch of college tests where I had to use like all the essay questions.
Yeah.
Timothy said there was a show, a good one. Yeah, I watched that show. It was pretty interesting. It was
It was called Project Blue Book.
Yeah, it was literally called Project
We have
Blue
to get
Book.
better about reading the comments all the way because when people listen to the show, they don't get to watch it.
That's where the ADHD gets.
Yeah, so I'm not like yelling at him for not reading the comments. We're just trying to.
No, she's yelling at me.
Sorry. Yeah, she's yelling at him totally.
She goes full D unit.
I'm like,
and you know what? Rightly so. Rightly so.
Right. I know. That's why I have you guys on the show, to keep me in check.
Yeah, babysitters.
And besides that, you're my friends. That has a big part of it. But yeah, it was actually called Project Blue Book.
Okay.
It was about Dr. Hynek and the other guy. I can never remember the actual military guy's name because he's not
Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, we'll just call him Colonel Sanders.
I'm not just I've been watching Spaceballs. Like,
oh gosh.
So I've been watching Spaceballs for like the last week. I'm sorry.
Timothy's other comment. He said, "Have y'all seen the app Enigma? It tracks UFO sightings."
No. I'll have to check that out.
That's super cool.
I think
somebody asked me about that yesterday too.
I wonder if you could like submit videos or something.
I'll have to check it out. Actually, I was on another podcast yesterday.
That's cool. Oh yeah,
it was fun. He told me we're going to talk about ghost hunting because that's what you do, but we ended up talking about me and his co-host ended up talking about aliens and Bigfoot for most of the show.
Nice.
But no, he asked me what equipment I use when I go investigating UFOs. I'm like, I haven't actually started that part yet. I'm just like researching all the stories and like the history of UFOlogy and just he's like, well, you got to check Enigma out. So it's on the radar. I just haven't looked into it yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say whatever app that tracks something tracks you, but all apps track you anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, you just have
exactly.
Your phone can be off. Yeah,
just it's almost better if you are tracked.
Even if you don't.
Yeah,
even if you don't have your phone, they can track you by your car. They can track you.
Yeah. They can track you everywhere.
Anything that emits electric can be tracked.
Yeah, they can still track that car.
Oh yeah.
My 2007 Dodge Nitro.
Anything that's got a computer.
It's a fancy Nitro.
She's about to hit 250,000 miles this week, guys.
Oh, Randy says, "How about Planet?" Randy asked, "How about Planet X?" I don't know if I've seen or heard of that.
Is that Twitter?
I have, but I forget what it is.
Planet Twitter.
Oh my God, formerly known as Planet Twitter.
Well, if it's anything about Elon Musk, I don't want to see it.
No, because I remember learning about that a long time ago.
Okay, so Timothy said you can submit videos on Enigma. That's cool. I'll have to check it out.
That's cool because I would definitely like to. I mean, I guess people can still submit like AI videos.
Yeah, you guys don't understand. You guys think you're conspiracy theorists, man, but you're giving the government the videos right there.
I don't give a shit.
You don't understand. They'll disappear.
Yeah. I mean, I won't submit a video.
I'm not going to succumb to fear.
I say that all the time. Right? I'm like, oh, I would stand up, but no, I don't.
Like, hey guys, I saw a UFO. Government comes. Hey, I know you didn't. I'm like, no, you're right. I saw nothing.
I was just kidding.
I thought I saw a UFO.
New development.
I was drunk and I didn't.
I know I would fold. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, yeah, nope, I didn't see shit.
Right.
Yeah, so like I don't even try to act like I would be. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just keep that one to myself.
I like to think that I would be brave, but I know that I wouldn't.
Not to the government. I act like I would be, but it's the freaking government. Don't act like it. You know they can fuck us up.
I've never been in a fight in my life. Okay, I'm not. What am I gonna do to anybody?
Okay, now I know what Planet X is.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
okay.
Thanks, Tim reminded us. Been waiting for Planet X crash into the Earth for 20 years. Yeah, that's what you get. That's what we all get for looking in just scrolling too much on our phones and seeing all these like clickbait stories.
We just forget about all the traumatic, life-ending, world-ending events that happen all the time. Because there's
always like scared of Planet X that
Yeah.
Yeah, they're apparently Planet X is on the course to crash into the Earth. Like I don't know how that. Yeah,
Forever.
it's lost
Forever.
its orbit, and it's I
It's
don't
just
know.
out there.
And there was the Hale-Bopp
Yeah,
comet that was
Yeah.
gonna.
people killed themselves over that because they thought it was going to take them to heaven or whatever they thought.
Yeah. Heaven's
Yeah.
Gate.
Yeah, Heaven's Gate. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And they all wore their
We're-
Nike tennis shoes.
We are fucked up people.
We are.
Right.
We are fucked
We just-
up, man.
There really are crazy shit that
Yeah.
happens like all
Yeah.
the time.
Your neighbor, who knows what they're into? It's just,
Yeah, that's true too.
I mean, look what we're talking about. I 100% think Randy was abducted by aliens. I agree.
Who was just talking about that? Were we talking about that on the show? Some lady thought she was getting abducted by aliens. And so she like
Was it-
set up cameras around her house. And her
No, this is the
cameras
first
got all
time
messed
hearing
up.
about this.
That
Oh,
sounds familiar.
No, it's
Her-
first.
I don't.
So like
I
every
don't
night
remember.
I don't
she
pay
was-
attention
she
to
was
the
like-
show though. So.
she was having dreams about being abducted. And it was like they felt very real. And so she was like, I don't know, I feel like there's more into this. So she set up cameras on the outside of her house. And
Mhm.
every night the cameras would just stop working. Like at the same time, all of them would stop working. And then she had a little scar where she said something was implanted.
See, I believe shit like that. When people set up their cameras and shit.
Right. Now I'll tell you another funny one. There's a show where it's kind of like the haunted shows where they submit like a piece of what they think is evidence. They tell their story on TV to like
Yeah.
these two investigative reporters or whatever. And they do their due diligence. They look at what was in the sky. They go to NORAD and see like what was flying through the sky at that particular point. Most of the time they're able to debunk it, and the people are acting like, well, I know what I saw.
Right.
You know, and stuff like that. And I like to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Like I wasn't there, I don't know. But
Right. No, I would never say somebody's stuff.
right.
I don't know if it's real or not.
There was this woman that used to be like straight up wannabe ghost hunting celebrity. So I'm watching this show, and all of a sudden she's on this show about UFOs and being abducted. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So she's like, she didn't make it in the ghost hunting genre, so she's trying to get into the UFO stuff. She said that she had all these experiences since she was a little kid, all these abduction stories, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I mean, I can't say you were or you weren't. But then she pulls this piece of like material out. She's like, I think this was implanted behind my ear. They surgically removed this from my ear like 10 years ago, and I have held on to it, and I've told you my story, and I don't know what it is. I think it's an alien chip. So they take the alien chip, they take her story down, and then they meet, you know, and this is all so very dramatic because this is actually at a bar near Area 51 that's all like themed for aliens.
Okay.
So it's just really corny. So they told her that she didn't provide anything where they could actually track any kind of like UFOs or like tell them what was in the sky. It was all like a personal experience of like abduction experience. So, but they pulled out the material that this is a piece of a plastic tooth. Like this is made from known dental material. Like
and
this
it was
is like
behind her ear.
Like that's what she says. But that's the thing. I just know who this chick is, and that she's tried like to get in all these like different paranormal genre shows. Like, did you literally make this whole story up and like trick them into thinking that you actually had this experience to be on the show?
And why wouldn't you like take a chip from like an old video game or something?
I know,
like,
at least something that's not straight up plastic. Like a chunk of plastic that they know it was like a resin piece of plastic that they would use for like a dental cap.
That's weird.
It was just super weird, and like she was acting like she was so like offended and like, oh, I know what happened, and this is definitely something that came from another world, and I was like, it's so ridiculous. But it's just the other side of things. Like I believe most people, but then people like do this and they mess around
for everybody.
They mess around with the AI. Like at least back in the day when people posted videos, you could definitely tell that was just a frisbee on a string.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you can't tell anymore, man.
You can't tell shit anymore.
No.
Now, when I see the videos, oh, this happened over the Atlantic Ocean, and there's this big mothership on fire falling out of a cloudy sky. I know that's not real. That would have been all over the news everywhere. But, I also believe the little nubbin thing that put people into a dream state where they could go back in time. So, Let's say Timothy said the Anunnaki will return and destroy the civilization.
Yeah.
They're the ones that were here before us. They
still got
they still probably are still here observing us from underneath the ground in their cave dwellings.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot to it. But the Anunnaki, I believe, were in the Bible too. There was some stories like kind of related to the Bible.
Yeah.
That's another
a lot of
thing.
religions. Yeah.
And
they came here and mated with humans.
Yes.
And made little hybrids.
Yeah.
Which were giants.
And going back to Randy being abducted, I think he's just a straight up alien. I think he's a reptilian that is
Randy abducts people. He doesn't.
Randy is living amongst
us. He's doing recon here on Earth.
He's one of 1,000.
Not very good though. We know you. We can see.
He's one of at least 1,000 documented reptilian aliens that are costumed as humans. Because we all know gray aliens and Pleiadians, they don't costume. They just show up as they are. They're not afraid, Randy. They're not afraid to be who they are.
No.
You walk around in your...
They don't put on airs. They don't put on airs.
You do all that. You do all that working out, buddy, and you're walking around like, look at my human flesh suit. They'll never find out.
Look at my human form. It's great.
I love you, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. So that was the... And I didn't even play the video.
I could jump down the Antarctica rabbit hole like for hours and hours. I could talk about that.
And I didn't even play the freaking jingle to go into my story.
I thought about it, but I didn't want to interrupt your story.
I could just play it now just for the shits and giggles. Play it. Maybe Heisenberg will keep his mouth shut long enough to actually hear it this time. I didn't hear anything.
That was great.
It took me days to get that working. So yeah, in the Antarctic, there's all kinds of rabbit holes there.
Listen, we joke about Randy, but I'm being serious. I really do think that there are aliens walking around, like just doing recon, just.
Oh yeah.
Just collecting all kinds of information.
Well, I don't know.
I guess maybe you don't need to because we just put everything on the internet anyways.
Right.
It's not like we're trying to hide anything.
Right.
Hey, look at me eating. And you can see exactly where I'm at because I tagged myself at this restaurant.
Yeah, they know.
And you can see all the people that I'm eating with that probably don't even want to be on this post, but there they are. So you know where they are.
You know what's another one of my favorite things from history that's like super weird is look up Vanilla Skies, I think it's called. There's like thousands of pictures they have learned from history that have been cut out. So like they take the building and then they like cut around it and then just the sky is just white. Like they're trying to not let people see what was in the sky at that time.
Weird.
Super weird.
Vanilla Sky was a movie with Tom Cruise, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Long time ago. Tom Cruise.
Long time ago. I think. It was like a sci-fi movie.
Maybe that's not what it's called then. But it's something
it might
like
be.
That.
All movies get their idea from something
that's true too.
That's real.
Yeah,
that's what Timothy just said.
I think we're onto something.
Randy does ask a lot of questions, says Holly.
There you go.
I need to investigate Randy. Fuck ghosts.
Right.
You might disappear. I wouldn't.
Hey, Randy, you want to come to Shalersville? June 14th.
Got some questions.
I got to be cool to Randy because he's planning a Bigfoot hunt, so I got to be cool with him.
Also, you got to be cool with Randy because he could beat you up easily.
Absolutely. That's true.
Yeah.
Weird stuff, guys. Weird, crazy things.
We should do a whole thing about things in history that are super weird. That's one of my favorite rabbit holes in town. And like
I can give you
orphan
some.
trains. Look up orphan trains.
I'll work on some history stuff for you.
Okay.
Super weird history shit.
Yeah.
Sounds like next week's What the F moment.
Yeah, for sure.
I thought it was Denise's turn.
It is. That's why
It is.
I was kind of looking down at her. Like, you're up next.
I know. How did I get up here?
Bring the heat, D.
Oh, because my internet went out. So we played musical chairs. Yes. Oh my God. You guys, look at that.
The latest conspiracy is Pope Francis is the last pope.
He's the last pope.
I don't know. I keep seeing pictures of Trump as the pope. So
no, Trump is the last president. That's from that book. I think it's called The Last President is the book, but it's from like the 1800s, and it lists a little kid named Barron who has a mentor whose name is Donald, who lives on Fifth Avenue in New York, and they're time travelers, and Donald Trump is the last president. Super weird. All of these things like are in this book from 17 or 1800s. I don't know.
So are we to believe that that Barron is like the Antichrist if you're like a religious person?
Are we to believe that Donald Trump actually paid attention to Barron as he was growing up, so he's really his mentor?
I don't know. There's a lot of things you could.
A lot of things.
Take from that, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of things could be in there.
But anyways,
I don't know.
So the book is about the last president, and then there's all of these conspiracy theories and prophecies of people who predicted. There was a guy, Saint somebody.
Saint somebody. I know that one.
Yeah. You heard of him? He prophesized like 122 popes after him, and he's been like super accurate on all of them. And he said that this is the last pope. This is the last one that we're going to have. And if you look at this building in the Vatican, they have spots for every single pope that there was, and there's no more spots after that, after this one.
Yeah. And I was actually just going to say that, Timothy.
Yeah, Simpsons.
The Simpsons have so many. And I was going to say, I don't believe anything unless I've seen it on an episode of Simpsons.
Yeah.
Those guys are freaking amazing.
They need to be investigated.
Yeah, they need to be investigated.
They obviously.
But you know what? You make so many episodes, I guess your level of clairvoyancy is bound to be right on something. But they are very good.
They're very, very, very good.
Right.
But and now
so many different
AI,
writers. How do they keep nailing it?
Now with AI, though, people will be like, "Oh, did you see this was in the Simpsons episode?" And it wasn't. They just recreated it to be like what it is now.
You can't believe anything anymore because
I hate it.
I feel hate it, but I also love it for our T-shirt designs that are available now on our Cryptic Paranormal Show Etsy store.
We do like AI sometimes.
Yeah. Or when we have top secret collaborations, we want to make an illustration for.
But
it has its purposes.
It's just so frustrating, and I do feel so old because I like tell my kids like back in my day, if I saw something I could believe it. That's what it was. We were always told like don't believe it till you see it.
Right.
And now I feel old because you can't even.
Now you can't believe it when you see it.
With your own eyes. You can't even like. It used to be that if you saw
in front of you that you are touching yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You cannot believe anything anymore.
I know. It's wild.
And even that could be artificial intelligence now.
That's true.
But then you can't live your life that way.
No. I just say, you know what? Fuck it. Believe whatever you want. Believe everything.
Well, that's what I do. My beliefs change every week. Whatever I feel like talking about on the show, that's where my beliefs go.
Yeah.
I was really waiting for the hard stance that UFOs don't exist and you're full of shit. And that never happened.
I felt like going with it today.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I like it when you go with my story.
It's called growth.
But it doesn't happen all the time.
Right.
Well, yeah, I know. Next week it'll be like, yeah, that shit doesn't exist. You're freaking insane.
Yeah. My it changes weekly. I have no real belief system.
Honestly, you should. If you learn new things, you should believe new things,
Yeah, but I don't know. But how do we know those new things are real?
I don't know. You don't.
Believe in everything, trust nothing.
There you go.
That made no sense whatsoever, but it sounded cool.
It makes sense for now.
Yeah.
For the times we live in.
Right.
But yeah, maybe I'll do a poll. Can I do a poll on the Facebook page?
Yeah.
To see what kind of weird things from history people want to talk about?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Yep. Because I'm going to run out of ideas like in the second time I do this.
Really? There's so much stuff out there.
I know.
This is a wealth of useless knowledge.
Yes, me too. Like
I have a lot of ideas like to go into just from listening to other podcasts and things that they mention and like things that I want to do a deeper dive in. So the information is out there.
I have ADHD, so I like see something and it's just like a little glimmer of an idea or a conspiracy theory or whatever, and my brain is like, let's hyper focus on that for the next 6 hours, and then I learn every single thing that I can about it, and I remember it. But I don't remember why I walked into a room or to call a certain person or to pay a certain bill or whatever. I don't remember anything important.
Right.
But if you know how good my ADHD is? I got a little warning on my Honda today on the way home. Driver attention required with a little coffee cup on it.
Were you swerving or something?
Even your car's yelling at you. Pay attention.
So...
You might want to stop for a coffee. That's pretty interesting. I didn't know cars could do that now.
That's like the
I was like, what the hell? And then I couldn't get it to do it again.
Michael.
Yeah.
I kept trying to do it then. I'm like, so this is bad. I'm driving on the turnpike going.
Oh my God.
Get my car.
You just hear this voice, wake up, Michael.
Right.
Yeah, see, my ADHD, it's crazy.
Yeah, I hear you. You'll do great as a real estate agent. It's so perfect. It honestly is like my biggest superpower when it comes to my job.
If you can wield it, it's a superpower.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
My problem is mine gets a little out of control sometimes and I can't wield it.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it just shuts me down because I'm so burnt out that I can't do anything. It's like boom, like just implosion. I gotta like go take a nap because I can't.
Yeah.
My thinker can't think anymore.
Oh my God! The other day I drank 9 cups of coffee before 3 p.m.
I'm sure that helped, level you out.
It does. It does.
Does it? I feel like sometimes it has the.
Then I had another one at 6, and I went to bed at 9. I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Last night I drank decaf and I was up till like midnight.
Midnight? Are you 85? Who says that?
Well, it was I
was up until midnight.
It was in the year 25. It was the year of our Lord 20.
It's a quarter past.
Oh.
In the year 2025, I stayed up till half past midnight.
Dude, man, I'm surprised I make it past 9:30.
I bought a coffee for 3 shillings and told the boy to run down to the corner store and say, "Hey,
give me a cone of peanuts while you're down there."
Holy cow!
Why don't you stop at that little vending machine on the corner and get me some smoked nuts out of this machine?
Don't spoil your supper.
Yeah. Hey, honey, did you put that meat we bought in the ice box?
Oh, gosh.
I got to go outside and pick my salad.
Hey, I do that sometimes.
Yeah, I'm hoping to do that here shortly.
Not me, man. But I'm not growing shit. They have stores for it.
For now, till the Anunnaki take over.
Till what?
Until the Anunnaki take over or something else happens.
And we'll be growing their food.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See,
you better learn how to garden. Make yourself useful.
Yeah.
Space gardening, you don't fucking know how to do it.
You just gotta do the whole
They do it on Earth. They need the resources we have here.
Still gotta learn how to do space vegetables.
Vegetables from space.
I'll just hyper focus on it for a little bit. I'll get it.
Okay, guys. The fifth wheel has officially fallen off this truck.
I think it was when you said midnight. But it was like, okay, and we're gone.
So make sure to put your Christmas goose in the icebox, and you guys have a great weekend. Seriously, we love you guys. Spook you later, crypto heads. Have a great weekend.
And please don't be an asshole.
Please don't be an asshole.